How do inserts affect the prices of complete in-box games, or does complete in-box also mean inserts, for example, maps and subscription cards?
I think it largely depends on the game that you're buying. If you take, for instance, a copy of Danny Sullivan's Indie Heat, I think a lot of people are going to be happy with cartridge, manual, maybe foam, nice condition box. They're probably going to consider that complete enough. That's fine. Posters are always a nice bonus.
I think it has to be subscription cards. To me, never matter because those aren't unique.
Right, exactly. That stuff's
They're
not
only
unique
to the publisher.
That's replaceable.
Yeah.
The posters were generally unique among a run of games among a publisher, so they're replaceable.
It depended. Like something like Xenophobe, it came with a Xenophobe poster, but you can get like a Sunsoft generic poster.
That's what I mean. Like the ones that advertised a bunch of different games.
There's ones that like Terminator 2, or I'm trying to remember, Total Recall had a Total Recall poster, so it was specific to it.
However, you take something like Final Fantasy 3. For the Super Nintendo. A Final Fantasy 3 that's just box manual cartridge is going to go for less than a copy that's box manual cartridge poster, which is going to go for less than one that's box manual cartridge poster and map. So it really does depend.
I think maps are the big one. Something like Dragon Warrior, you got to have some of the maps and stuff.
Maps definitely, and I think individualized specific posters, things like the letter from Mike Tyson, the
Red
letter
Racer
for
glasses.
the Red Racer glasses, the letter for Star Tropics. These are all things that can definitely affect the price of a complete copy, whereas I think more generic pack-ins like the advertising posters, subscription or registration cards, less so.
Again, though, depends on the game, though. If you have a hardcore fan of, I don't know, trying to think of something special that came out with it, I can't even think of anything right now.
Solomon's Key had that weird map poster that showed you like the secret rooms.
Oh, it did? Do I have that? Jesus. I'm going to look for that. But I think it comes down to, like Ian said, like the Mike Tyson poster, which I think went up in value a lot. That was one of those things I think for some reason most collectors discovered only like the past few years existed.
The letter, you mean?
Yeah, the letter.
Yeah, the letter did. It's like the past year and a half. Everyone's like, "Does your copy have the letter?" And I'm like,
before,
no.
like people didn't know it existed.
Yeah.
And then I think a big one will be like the Legend of Zelda insert map/story. I think that's a big one. If you don't have that,
Which one?
The Legend of Zelda.
Oh yeah.
Poster/item map or whatever. That's a big one.
That's always been big at the store.
I still have my original one.
Nice.
I drew my awful writing. I actually found another one that person drew in every secret, like the entire thing.
At the very first Luna Video Games location, we had someone who did a beautiful one in all colored pencil. And it was like, it looked like it was moth ridden, like eaten, because there was holes all over it, and it did not survive the transportation to the second store. It was awesome too, because they really like fine detail.
I got to show you mine, because mine was done by like a fucking child that I still can't draw all right, but the one I found was done very well. I was like, holy shit.
Nice.
And I remember I had it with my extra manual and someone was ready to buy it. I'm like, no, I think I might just keep that.
Yeah.
I'm done. And they were mad, but I was like, no, sorry. I reserve the right to take it out of your hand, sir. No. Pet's an asshole.